This is an emergency quality control meeting. I've invited both Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch, and I want to do this now before free agency really gets underway and the 49ers make big mistakes. So this is for John and Kyle. I'm going to wait for them to get here. They're here. John, Kyle, thank you so much for coming at short notice. I understand you have an entire roster to work over, a team to put together, and free agency to handle, but you guys already messed up. So we need to talk right now before you do any other irreparable damage to the roster. The Juszczyk thing. What the hell are you doing? I don't get you guys. I sit you down here once a week during the season and I'm like, did you forget about your fullback? What about that guy you're spending $5 million a year on? Why don't you get him the ball? Why is he only playing 40% of your snaps? How come he only gets 2 touches a game weekly? I'm like, Kyle, use your fullback. Give the ball to Kyle Juszczyk. And sometimes you listen. Most of the time you don't. He finished with like 36 touches last season. You spent $5 million on that. And then in the offseason, now you like him. You like him in March. You don't like him during the season. You're like, I got to play this guy because I signed him. I got to give him the ball once or twice or else my quality control guy, Grant Cohn's going to really be on me. Yeah, you're right. What are you paying him for? Why the investment? He's a good player. He's a terrific player, but you don't use him. Kyle, I'm looking at you, Kyle. You don't use Kyle Juszczyk. So what's the point? $5 million a year? He played 43% of the snaps last year. You know who played more than that? Ross Dwelley. Ross Dwelley, the guy making the veteran minimum, $900,000. He played 46% of the snaps last year. Ross Dwelley. Juszczyk played 43. Dwelley played 46%. Juszczyk averaged 7 yards per target. So he was targeted 29 times, averaged 7 yards per target. Ross Dwelley averaged 10.2 yards per target, targeted 24 times, caught a higher percentage, averaged more yards per catch. Just a better receiver all around than Kyle. No question. Kyle Juszczyk, little, 6'1", doesn't have long arms, not a big target, not really someone that you can throw to down the field with much margin for error. Dwelley, 6'5", possession receiver, can catch passes in tight windows. Just a better receiver than Ross Dwelley. Again, making about a fifth of what Ross Dwelley makes, less than that. So you had a cheaper player who played more than Juszczyk, more effective as a receiver, and you bring Juszczyk back? Why was that your number one priority? You have the replacement. His name is Ross Dwelley. You say, well, Juszczyk's a better blocker. Used to be. Juszczyk was a hell of a blocker in 2017, 2018, first part of 2019. Then he got hurt. Since he came back, all the blocks I remember of him are him getting decleated, thrown in the air, landing on his back. KJ Wright did it to him. Kevin Pierre-Louis did it to him in Washington. He's not the blocker he used to be. The best blocks I remember from a 49ers fullback H-back last year was Ross Dwelley coming across the formation and cracking Aaron Donald to seal a win against the Rams. That wasn't Juszczyk. I just don't see it. Juszczyk is about to be 30 years old. You just gave him a 5-year deal worth $27 million. Now, I know it's probably not really worth 5 years and you can get out of it, but seriously, guys, that was the number one thing you could do. Overpay a fullback that you're not even going to use. What's that? It doesn't make any sense. To me, it feels like a PR move. It feels like this couldn't have been your number one priority. Re-sign Kyle Juszczyk, the number one thing you wanted to do. No. You wanted to re-sign Trent Williams or Jason Verrett, and you weren't able to get them to commit to you before free agency started. So you went to Juszczyk, who is emotionally tied to the organization. When it looked like he wasn't going to come back at the end of the season, he was almost crying in his post-season press conference. Yeah, he's emotionally tied here. He'll play here. Plus, you pay him like he's a freaking impact player, like he's someone who plays 100% of the snaps as opposed to 40. So, yeah, you got him back, but it seems like a PR move Fans like him. He's got a cute little nickname, Juice. Juice is back. Great. You know, maybe if Dwelly had a cooler nickname, he could have replaced him with Juszczyk, but you brought back a fan favorite to distract the fans from the fact that you're not going to bring back Jason Verrett or Trent Williams. I don't think they care, John and Kyle. I think they were looking forward to the other guys. Kyle Juszczyk, he doesn't really move the needle. Like, oh my God, look out, Rams and Seahawks and Cardinals. Juszczyk's back in town. I like Juszczyk. He's a good player, but Kyle, you know you don't want to call plays for him. I don't know why you have him on the team. So you can say you have a fancy fullback. What is that? So you can just have a Pro Bowler on your offense because there's no other fullbacks in the league. It doesn't make any sense. But let's move on. Because that's all, you already did it. You already made the mistake. You can't move, you can't undo it. So let's talk about what this means for the rest of free agency.